The House and Senate have submitted dueling budget proposals. Join us now to talk about the plans and President Trump's legislative agenda. Tennessee Republican Senator Bill Hagerty, and once again, our hearts go out to a lot of the people in your home state, Senator, with the flooding that we've seen, and hopefully hopefully the help is either there or forthcoming.
Yes, certainly. I appreciate that very much, as do the people of Tennessee. The rains were significant. The flooding, as you've seen on much of the coverage, has been devastating. We're working very hard to make certain people are getting the aid they need.
Okay, so we're here to talk about actual legislation. It's so out of vogue now. Do we really need it? Can't we do everything through executive order now, Senator? No, we need to. Where are we on that?
This is actually one of those areas, Joe, where legislation is going to be required. As you say, there's been a lot that's been done by executive order, but in this case, we're working very closely, again, with the House and the Senate together, and we'll work closely with the White House as well. We're coming up into a point where the American public really expects us to deliver. It's about energy independence. It's about our national defense. It's about bringing inflation down. All of this has to be addressed also in the context of the broader tax cuts that President Trump wants to see in place, because that will have long-term positive implications for the economy. So it's a complex process. The House is working apace on its product. We're moving forward in the Senate, and I'm certain the White House is going to step in, and we're going to have to bring all of this together pretty soon.
I wonder how that works. So that there will be a third, so that the White House will be involved. Does the Senate talk? The people running things in the Senate, are they trying to coordinate with the Speaker and vice versa? Doesn't look like
certainly, I think the conversations are on a regular basis between Leader Thune and also Budget Chair Graham, as well as with our majority leader in the House, Mike Johnson. I think they're working very closely. Mike Johnson obviously has a higher hurdle. He's got a very narrow margin to navigate with. They put a product together right now, a larger product. Senator Graham, the Budget Committee, to put something together that would be a little bit slimmer, if that makes sense, really focused just on energy independence, national defense, and the Coast Guard. But what we're trying to do is keep things moving forward and make certain that we've got options as we come into the spring here. But what I want to do, and I'm setting process aside, I'm not too hung up on whether it's one bill, two bills, or three bills. I think President Trump feels the same way. We just need to deliver on what the American public has asked us to do, and that is to step up, bring inflation under control, get energy independence back on the forefront, and get our southern border corrected and fixed once and for all.
When it's all said and done, Senator, the extension of the tax cuts, will it be permanent? And can you do that and all the other, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security? We're talking trillions of dollars. But there are some senators saying, if it's not permanent, we had one on last week, if it's not permanent, I don't want a 10-year extension. I want it permanent. In the federal government.
Joe, that's a great question, and I think we would all like to see it permanent. And here's the reason. We need to see consistency, certainty. As you know, the business community certainly appreciates that much more than the volatility that's associated with these short-term extensions. It really gets down to the math and how we go about the process of paying for all the various features that are going to go into this. So it's a product of negotiation. I would certainly like to see it permanent, but again, we've got to get down to the hard part of putting the math together.
And as far as deficit busting implications of what we're doing, in your mind, do you think that DOGE can somehow play a very significant role in cutting enough to allow for some of these things to happen? Because I mean, it's just hard to see it adding up. On the big frame of things, $3 billion sounds great when DOGE finds $3 billion. That's like it's like a drop in the ocean for what we're dealing with here at this point.
Joe, I think the critical aspect of it here is that DOGE has been underway for, 3 weeks? We've got to start moving in the right direction. We're looking at a situation now where we've got a $37 trillion budget deficit. That is so significant. And we've got to begin moving again in the right direction to become more physically responsible. I think what DOGE is uncovering is the fact that there's a considerable amount of waste, fraud, and abuse that's in the system. If we go about the process of systematically uncovering that, two things will happen. One is that there'll be immediate opportunities the DOJ will uncover that they can address. The other more significant component is that they're going to be signaling back to the legislative branch that we've got major areas that we can come in, reform, modify, and cut. But the whole streamlining process ought to have, in the long run, not only the impact of reducing the deficit spending, but also increasing our efficiency as a nation. Both of those things combined, I think, will have very positive implications for our deficit, for our fiscal situation in the long run. And I think it's something that we've absolutely got to get started on. I think the American public are ready for it.
Who do you credit with getting these nominations through, even some of the ones that didn't look like it was going to be easy, or it looked like it was going to be more difficult? Is that the leader? Is that Senator Thune? Is it, what I'm getting at is, or does President Trump really hold sway over both the Senate and the House? And will that mean that we don't have problems in the House for Mike Johnson this time around, and the Senate?
I think, Joe, the answer is yes to both in terms of President Trump's influence. Look, the American public spoke loud and clear. We're cognizant of that here in the Senate. The point is, President Trump is entitled to his team. He's put together an incredible team. They're very disruptive. I think what we want to see, what the American public wants to see, is real change, and you've got people coming into office to do that. But I don't want to underemphasize the fact that Leader Thune has done a tremendous job. He's kept us on track. He's pushed back against maximum resistance that we're experiencing from the Democrat Party. And he's kept us moving, I think, at a pace that everybody has been extremely pleased with. And so President Trump is achieving what he promised, what he hopes to accomplish in terms of getting leadership positions filled. And you've got Leader Thune that is doing a terrific job of making certain that we're here, whether it's through the weekends, through the evenings, late at night. He's kept us here, but he's keeping us apace. So I think both deserve a great deal of credit, making certain that we're moving in the right direction here on these nominees.
Senator, we have seen a lot of consternation from Democrats about some of the things that President Trump has done. We're with the Department of Justice, maybe the Mayor Adams case, and if you listen to Democrats in certain areas, it's a constitutional crisis. I've heard that over and over and over again. Even some conservatives, even some conservatives, though, have pointed to certain things where they perhaps think that President Trump is pushing it a little bit too far. Has there been anything that you've seen where you were hoping you don't get any questions from on TV or from constituents about anything where you're like, wow, that's even something I wouldn't have tried to do?
Well, I think what we're seeing and hearing, Joe, is just the fact that the Democrat Party is coming unraveled. And I think, frankly, a lot of their allies in the media are as well, because I've heard the term constitutional crisis over and over and over again. And now that we're presiding in the United States Senate, because the Republicans have taken the majority, I've had the benefit of sitting there on the Senate floor listening to time and again my Democrat colleagues coming in saying that if, for example, Russ Vought, who is now our OMB director, were he to be, confirmed as OMB director, millions of people would die, that we're in a constitutional crisis. This isn't happening. There are not people piling up dead on the streets. And this crying wolf constantly, I think, just discredits the Democrat Party. They need to figure out where their core is. They need to get back to the basics and join us in governing rather than just these shrill cries. Again, because I think people are just becoming numb to it.
Do you think, is it the perception that maybe the president wants a deal with Ukraine so bad and Russia so badly that Ukraine will not get a total fair shake, that Putin's going to have the last laugh? Do you see that? You hear that coming from, obviously, from certain circles as well.
You've heard a lot of speculation about what's taking place. One thing I want to be careful to do, Joe, is not get ahead of the negotiating team. Last night in Riyadh, they agreed to put a high-level team together to focus on bringing this to resolution. I think what we all want to see is an end to the death, to the carnage. What's happened in Ukraine has been absolutely awful. I think we'd all like to see that come to an end. President Trump has clearly been focused on that. I'll let that team get to the point of negotiating the details, and the last thing I'm going to do is try to get ahead of them and start speculating right now. But I think one thing is clear. The American public wants to see this come to an end. I think the world needs to see this come to an end as well, and I'm hopeful that that's going to happen post-haste.
All right, Senator, so it's a pretty red state. You haven't been hearing a lot of complaints yet? You're all right? You're good? You look like you're not worried but Andrew, you want to weigh in on anything? Nothing?
you've asked the questions.
Well, I tried to, and we need to pace ourselves. I think everybody needs. It's going to be another 1,400 days. That's my only concern, Senator. It's another. I want everyone to take a breath occasionally, or do we need to just? I've seen certain people say we need to rally the troops right now and start screaming or else we're going to lose our democracy forever. So
Democrats can't figure out how to respond.
It is.
Yeah. Well, I hope we can stay in touch because there's so much more to come. President Trump is going to tackle tariffs, the lack of reciprocity that we've had with our trading partners around the world. As you know, I was U.S. ambassador to Japan when we put two trade deals together with Japan.
Right.
I think I've drawn him in.
So Joe drew me in the following way, and I'm going to try to ask it this way.
Okay. All right, good.
Obviously, the administration is moving super fast, and by the way, it may need to move super fast to get stuff done. Just not only in terms of its promise to its voters, or to the voters, I should say, but more importantly, because if you don't do it quickly, you may not have the chance to do it later. But my question is, how important is it to bring the entire country along? How important is it to do it with sort of a level of transparency where people don't not question the merits of certain decisions themselves, but whether what's being done is being done transparently and honestly, right? I mean, I think that is a central question.
Yeah. Well, in terms of bringing the country along, I'd go back to Election Day, where 75% of the American public said that we were on the wrong track. They want to see change. I think that opens the opportunity for us. And if you look at what's happening right now, President Trump is holding daily press conferences. That's transparency that we've not seen in the past 4 years. And I think that's refreshing to the American people. As you say, they may or may not agree with a particular policy point. But what we've seen is transparency at a level that we have not.
Right, but Senator, no, the point I'm making is what we're seeing, as you know, is we're seeing resignations, and maybe that's the goal, but we're seeing resignations from people in senior posts, some, by the way, who are conservatives. I'm thinking now of the Justice Department, who are saying, this is just inappropriate, what's happening. And some of them may be doing it because they're trying to save themselves in some other way, or save their jobs, or save maybe from people from seeing certain things. If that's the case, I don't think you want them in those roles. But there's other people, I think, who have had some merit to what they have suggested is going on here, and seem to have great anxiety about the way it's being approached. Maybe not what's being done, but the way it's being done.
Well, this is disruption. Look, I'm from a corporate background. When you've got a situation like we're facing right now with amounts of debt and deficit spending that we're dealing with, you've got to come in and deal with it in a very rapid pace. Some people are uncomfortable with that. I get it. They can find another place to work. I also lived in the first administration. I served in President Trump's first administration. There were a number of people that resigned for high-sounding reasons, but I think it really was having to do with their own career and where they hope to land next. So I think we should just let this move forward. Again, it's early in the process. There's going to be disruption. There's going to be change. But I think overall, we're moving in the direction that the American public wants to see us move.
Okay, Senator, it was, I think we all got something out of having you on today. Hopefully have you on again soon. I appreciate your time.
Great. I look forward to it. Thank you all.